Welcome everyone to the Tao, um, the art of song, the art of sound healing, a Tao song singer's journey. So I'm joined today by Sher Rourke, who is a grandmaster, grandmaster teacher and healer at the brand new Global Master Sha Center that is based in Toronto, Canada, in Ontario. She is also one of the lead teachers for the Tao Song program. And she and I are going to do a very special workshop. And it comes really from both of our experiences and our deep desire to help as many people as possible to experience the kind of transformation that is possible in a Tao, in the Tao calligraphy healing field. And both of us, I have been studying with Master Sha for 21 years, and she's been studying with Master Sha for about 17 or 18 years. She joined in 2004. And both of us have our own healing journeys that we went through. We've kind of walked the path together as Master Sha introduced and offered incredible training programs that are still available now, and they are even, I would say, even better and bigger, and because they have been so well defined. These programs will enable us on April 16th to help you to release the pain and the suffering that you've been carrying for years. So when I look back on my journey, I was sick since I was a little girl. And in fact, I remember my mother would always telling me, you have to be very careful. You know, I guess in English, it would be the equivalent of saying you have a weak constitution, basically, and the wind will take you out if you're not careful. Because it didn't matter, because I had food allergies and it wasn't diagnosed. And so it was true. Anything, I was sick all the time. So with conditions like with things like food allergies, then conditions develop, and you carry them for however many years. And many people have conditions that they don't even consider chronic conditions, but they have their bottle of Tums or their bottle of, painkillers, aspirin, whatever, for their shoulder pain, knee pain. But in reality, these are chronic conditions. And that suffering that we carry that suffering into every aspect of our lives because it's with us. But what we want to do is we want to help you. We want to help you to release that. Today, though, we want to talk about our journey and what it is that we're going to, and how it is came about becoming Tao Song. I'm a Tao Song practitioner, master practitioner, and Sher is, of course, a certified Tao Song singer. So welcome, Sher. Thank you for joining us. It's wonderful to connect both coasts of Canada together, right? Thank you for being here. Start by sharing your background a little bit. Talk about, you also had a health challenge when you came. So what were you doing before that? Because your career, like mine, came to a complete standstill.
Yes, well, hello, Ximena, and hello, everybody. It's my honor and a joy to be here with all of you today. And as Ximena has said, we walked this journey together. I came to Master Sha, as was shared, in 2004. And prior to that, I had a career working in theater and film professionally for about 25 years. Though throughout my life, I had always been interested in healing. I studied different healing modalities throughout my life. I studied Buddhism. I always had a very keen interest, in spirituality and how we worked, as human beings, how we function on the soul, heart, mind, and body levels. I studied throughout my life. And then, I'd always sort of had this idea that I would work in that area in my life. But I just continued along in my film and theater career until one day I collapsed. Literally, my feet just went out from under me. And I was visiting my family in Northern Ontario. And my brother, was there, thank goodness. And he came and he helped me up and he said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I can't stand up." He put me on the sofa, and thus began my journey. And I was diagnosed with many different things: chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia. I had, like Ximena, allergies. Suddenly, there were many things I couldn't eat. And the chi, I would have to say that chi just left my body entirely. And I couldn't work. I had to stop working. I had to stop doing everything. I basically, got home, got into the bed, and my journey of transformation began. And I say it was a journey of transformation because I traveled through a whole healing process, transformation process, to come to the place where I am today. And it was through that sickness, that I met Master Sha. I became very desperate and wanted to get well, but nothing I tried would work. I would make a little bit of progress. I tried many alternative therapies and I'm grateful for them, but I still couldn't get to that place of functioning, just day to day, regular stuff. And I remember so desperately praying one night and really saying out loud, "Please give my life purpose. If I'm going to remain like this, please just take me. Just take me now. Otherwise, give my life purpose. Help me to get well." And shortly after this, I had a vision. And the vision was of Master Sha. His face appeared in front of me. And I remember thinking, "Oh, thank you," because I could feel such compassion, such kindness, love. And I was so grateful. My heart opened, and I felt like in that moment, he and I had a heart connection. And after that moment passed, I had the thought, "Oh my gosh, where am I going to find him?" I could see he was Chinese, and I thought I was going to have to travel to China and find him. And I had no money at that point. I had nothing. Only to find out that the next workshop he was giving, because a friend had brought me a magazine, a health magazine, and I opened it, and there was Master Sha having a workshop in my city of Toronto the following week. So that's how my journey started, Ximena, to meeting Master Sha, and to healing completely my conditions.
So beautiful. I've known you. I've known you since you said 2000, 2004, 2005, because you came to San Francisco to receive Divine Healing Hands. We used to do them at one of the hotels there. Master Sha, he was the one that was transmitting. It's so beautiful to hear. As I was listening to you, I was just remembering that 4 years ago, right? 4 years ago in 2017, in December of 2017, I remember I was in so much pain. My back, right? I had back pain was at 25 on a scale of 1 to 10, and I could barely move. I couldn't even move my face. Barely move it to the left a little bit. I could not move it to the right at all in the mornings. And I remember lying in bed, and it was the only time I cried. It's the only time the whole 4 years of this. Only time I just cried. I said, why? Why? What is the purpose of this level of suffering? And then this question came into my mind, and the question was, could I live this way? Could I live this way? Could I continue to live this way? And the answer was very clear. The answer was yes, because I had been given the power, I'd been given the ability to continue to serve, regardless of whether I could move or not move. Even if I couldn't move a finger, I could still be able to serve others, be able to help them with practices and with services. So that's why a program, like we'll talk about a little bit about this, the Tao Song Practitioner Program and the Tao Song Singer Program. Why these programs and the prerequisite Tao Hands Program, Tao Healing Hands Program, why they're so, like, there are no words to explain them. You literally just have to experience them. So we'll give people a little bit of an experience of that today. So you became a divine, at the time was called Divine Healing Hands, a Divine Healing Hands practitioner in 2005. And so how soon after starting your studies with Master Sha were you then able to go back to work? Because you started to do some individual working with clients individually. I don't think you ever went back. I don't think you ever went back to the film industry. And you were seeing clients. How long after meeting him, then you began using or I want to find out when you began using your Divine Healing Hands. So can you fill us in on that piece of the journey?
Sure. So I had started doing some counseling with people, some spiritual counseling, because I, as I mentioned, I had been studying and practicing Buddhism for a number of years. And when I met Master Sha, he did some very special blessings for me right away. He saw me, he said, yes, I can help you. And I remember, my heart opening and feeling so grateful, trusting him. And immediately, with the blessings he gave me on that day, I met him, I started to recover. I could feel just a deep peace inside of me, and I could feel energy coming back into my body. It was as though this space, which is what was actually happening, space was cleared and light, energy came back into my body. And I, started working, with people right away. And I didn't have my Divine Healing Hands at that point, but when I got them, I remember elevating my, counseling practice to a healing practice. And, clients would start to come, and the first thing they wanted to do, actually, there was so much less talk, much more, can I have a Divine Healing Hands blessing right away? And for me, for my own personal recovery, it took about 6 full months before my energy was back to normal and my function was back to normal. And then I was able to see more and more clients, and I developed my own practice, and I was using sound at that time because Master Sha had taught us, how to bring out soul language, how to bring out soul song. And I used to sing, my soul song when I would offer, my Divine Healing Hands blessings to others. And people loved that. It brought them, peace. It brought them relaxation. And their blockages, of course, were clearing, with each and every session I did for them. So it was kind of a gradual, progression, happening at the same time, my own healing process and helping others to heal also from, various conditions, depression, anxiety, back pain, all kinds of different things.
That's beautiful. What you just said, you said something right now that I've heard now because I've worked with people now. I've worked with different practitioners, um, starting actually in 2004 when Master Sha created the Divine Healing Hands program. And you said something, the exact same sentence that I've heard: less talk and more. They want, once clients experience something like Divine, now it's Tao Healing Hands program. Once they experience it, that's what they want. I work with someone who's a grief coach, and she said the first thing they say when they come in, can you make sure they don't want the talk? They want to make sure they have time. Some of them are tracing calligraphy, like you have a calligraphy behind you. There's one behind me. So they have a calligraphy. They have a card, many of her clients, and they want the Tao Healing Hands blessing. So she's doing less talking in the grief sessions, more of the Tao Healing Hands. So let's fast forward. So you're doing this service. You had a very active practice, and I want to say for people, you had a range of clients. I remember hearing some of the different kinds of challenges that people came to see you, that brought with them, when they came to see you. So it was a wide range of clients. It wasn't just people in the film industry, people who had stress. It was a variety of different things: physical, emotional, and spiritual. Yeah. So fast forward, Master Sha then creates the Tao Song program. And you and I had a conversation where we were participating in these programs, and you and I had a conversation, and you briefly told me that the lead teacher at that time, you had a conversation with her where you said to her that you wanted to be able to sing with her on stage. I had known you at that point probably 5 or 6 years. I didn't know that you wanted to sing. So what inspired that in you? What brought up, what got, what was the spark? What was it that got sparked inside of you, right? Because you don't wake up from one day to the next and go, I'm going to be a Tao Song singer. That's it. That's what I'm going to do. So something got opened. What was that? Share it with us.
Well, I think two things got opened. And, I always enjoyed singing, but I was not a singer. And I was shy to sing, around people. But aside from that, I would say two things opened. And one was my heart, and the other was my channel. The central channel that, as part of bringing out one's Tao song, needs to be open for that song to really resonate, far and wide, and for really having people experience, the source light that comes when offering, a Tao song blessing. The more open your channel is, the deeper I would say you are connected to the sound. And I would say I was always sensitive to sounds. And so when Master Sha, began singing his own, Tao song, I could feel the vibration inside of me, and I could see, with my spiritual eye, I could see the light that, radiated from him and from the sound vibration. So once I started to open my channel, and I could feel that was clearing space within the body, clearing space within my mind, clearing, the emotional body, and so on, I felt I really want to do that. And when you see some of those, special singers, opera singers, other singers, who really shine, in their song, we can all feel that. We can all feel the sound of it. There's something within the song itself that touches us deeply. And Tao song goes far beyond that, because you're making a connection directly with Tao source, and it's bringing you act as a channel, for that. Tao song mantras do that. They connect us directly with source, and so we become channels for that. And so the opening of the channel, the feeling of it, the healing, that I received from it, really brought me to a place of, I want to be able to do that, for others, because I can feel it and I know how powerful it is, and I want others to experience it as well. You're muted, Ximena.
Thank you. So before we close, because this is just an introduction, I want the people who follow us on Facebook, follow the center, and our own clients to get to know you a little bit. So before we close, share with me one or two experiences. Like, I've used my Tao song. I have a client years and years and years ago, because I used to travel to different places in the U.S. And this client said to me, it was more than insomnia. There was a bigger issue that caused this person not to be able to sleep. And the person said to me, is there anything you can do? And I said, well, we could record my soul song. And I did that, never thinking about it again, right? I met the person probably maybe 6 years later. And the person said to me, the only way I've been able to sleep for the last 6 years, I play the recording. Because it's exactly what you said. Listening, the body could relax completely, let go. The nervous system doesn't let the person sleep. The emotions are, of course, agitated. But the Tao song, as Master Sha says, the Tao song spreads the Tao field into every cell, space in the body. Was able to sleep. So share with us one or two stories of what, because it's very touching when you hear something like this, right? When someone says to you, this is what occurred for me because you recorded your Tao song. It's very touching. Share with me one or two of those experiences that you've had, because your song is absolutely beautiful. So I'm sure you're getting feedback. Share.
Yes, thank you. That I love to hear that, about someone being able to sleep. And I'll share a similar story about that. This was some years ago now, but I was working with a woman who had stage 4 ovarian cancer, and she was in so much pain, and medications were really not touching the pain. And so she wasn't sleeping. And I would call her or she would call me. She would message me in those very desperate moments, and I would call her. And she said to me, the only thing that relieved her pain and allowed her to sleep was my Tao song. And so I would sing to her until she fell asleep, and then I would just hang up the phone, because she had the phone there and was listening. And so that was early on, when I first received or became a Tao song practitioner. And subsequently, there have been just so many stories. I remember another one where a client of mine had come in, and she was basically walking like this. Her whole body was stiff. She was in so much pain. She'd thrown her back out. She couldn't move. And she'd just come from the chiropractor, and she said, nothing's changed. It didn't help. And I said, I'm so sorry, and, got her to lay down and did a longer session, but sang the Tao song, activated my, Tao healing hands. And after about 20 minutes, she got up and she moved, and everything had just relaxed, released. So she was on her way to recovery, not fully recovered, but now being able to walk and move and relax her shoulders, her arms, her legs, and virtually pain free. So these are two of many, many, many stories over the years.
It's really touching, right? Like my heart is like, whoa, because I know what it's like to see somebody suffer and then to be able to help them, to be able to really, when nothing else has worked, to be able to help them. There's no other feeling like that in the world. So once again, this is Sher O'Rourke. As I mentioned at the beginning of the program, she is Grandmaster, teacher, and healer. She is the center leader, was the center leader for the Toronto Center. Now the Toronto Center is the global center for Master Sha, and it has a whole team of Grandmasters that are serving there. And she is one of the co-leaders of the Dao Song program, that is certification program available through Dao Academy. Sher and I will be offering a very special workshop. She and I talked, and then put it together. Both of us have worked primarily with people who have chronic and challenging conditions, and both of us have seen how people can sometimes be holding on to the pain. They don't know they're holding on, but they don't know how to release it either. So on Saturday, April 16th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time, so that's 2 to 9 Eastern time, we will be leading a workshop with a continuation of it on the 21st in the evening. And our goal is to create for you a day of such deep nourishment and nurturing, and guide you through practice, guide you through space, creating the space for you in which to release that pain that you've been holding on to, the suffering. People with chronic conditions, after a while, they don't even talk about them because nobody can help them. But we know. Sher and I have experienced ourselves, and we've helped so many people at this point. So we want to help you. If you or your loved ones, anyone who has a chronic condition, they tennis elbow, they've got something with the knee. Sometimes people, they wake up with headaches. They're like, oh, I have to have my coffee. That's probably a temporary solution. I would say on the 16th, we can give you a deeper solution. Join us on the 16th, and we will support you in taking your journey of healing and transformation to a higher level, right? Leveling up your healing and transformation so you can truly live a life that is healthier and happier. So I hope that you've enjoyed getting to know Sher a little bit. Tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, we have our Dao Calligraphy Healing Field Introductory Evening, and Sher will join us again. So we're going to continue the story a little bit so you get to know who are these two people that are going to do this workshop. You might know us as center leaders, but do you know our story? Because it's been a long time since we've actually talked about our stories. So get to know us, and then get to know a little bit more about this workshop. Thank you, Sher, as always. I love you dearly, longtime friend. We've grown up with Master Sha and learned to serve basically very similar clients. Thank you so much for sharing your time, your wisdom, your love. Thank you for sharing your history. We'll see you tomorrow night at 6 p.m. And we invite everybody to continue to join us as we're going to continue our conversations with Sher, and then join us on the 16th. Love you, everyone. Please give us your hearts, give us your thumbs up, write your comments, share the video. We would love to be able to help 200 to 300 people on the 16th. That's our goal. Help us. Love you all. Thank you. Bye-bye.